Hope it doesn't rain here. There he is.
Hello, how's it going, KJ?
Rattler goal scored by number 10, Allan Siwella.
Bringing back old memories, I see.
That's right. That's right. Where are you right now?
I am just at home in my kitchen right now. I've tried to find the place with a lot of light so that you can actually see me. So, yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Everybody, Allan Siwella, number 10 for the Rattlers, men's soccer. Help me out with your stats. 3 seasons in for the Rattlers, is that correct?
Yeah, so I did my first 2 years here at the college
Okay.
back in 2011 and 2012, and then 2012, 2013, and then I went to U of L, and then I came back after for my fifth year, the 2016 season. So, yeah, total of 3 years with the Rattlers.
It seems so hard to believe that it has been almost 10 years since your Rattler debut. I guess 8 years now. Where's the time go, hey?
I know it kind of goes by pretty quickly, and I mean, when you're in the moment, it feels like you have an eternal amount of time left over with you playing. But after you're kind of finished up, the years go by very, very quickly, and you start to realize that you really do need to enjoy the time when you're playing because after you're done, the years do just kind of seem to run away from you.
And you miss it so much, I'm sure, right? You miss that high level of competition, but you have remained active in the sport as well, though.
Yeah, no, I mean it's different for sure. I mean, I still have kind of stayed around with the sport, playing and coaching, but I think there's just something about game day when you're playing in a game where you know everything is riding on it and
Hmm.
chasing that championship, you're chasing that goal, and you know that you have to beat this team to get into conference. It just has a certain level of nerves that come with it, which is exciting,
Hmm.
which has been kind of hard to get that back again without actually playing. So,
Exactly. Alan, you are you're from Zimbabwe.
yeah.
What are some of your earliest memories there, or at what age did you move to Canada?
So I moved to Canada in 2005, and that was when I was 12. So I still remember my all of my childhood from memories from being a kid. Still, just some stories actually. So actually, a couple of weeks ago, we have a group family chat, and they were kind of just going over some memories that we've had of each other. So I got to kind of relive my childhood a little bit. But I came when I was 12 and moved straight to Medicine Hat. So yeah.
What are some of your childhood memories? What was it like in Zimbabwe at that time?
It was a blast. It was very different for sure. And I mean, I look at it. I mean, I know my little brothers are watching right now, probably going to be going, "Oh, here we go again." But it's one of those things whereby um, I spend a lot of the time outside with my friends. Just going from school to back home. And in Zimbabwe, soccer is a massive sport. Likewise with hockey in Canada, every kid that grows up plays soccer at some point. So soccer was a big part just from the get-go, just probably because based on where I'm from and
Hmm.
what was kind of surrounding in that area. So my childhood memories are just kind of playing in the streets with my friends, some soccer, having boat races when it was raining, just down by the river. So it was always a fun time for sure. Yeah, just probably outside playing around.
Is the culture and is just different aspects of life there? Is that something that you really treasure? And whether it's family traditions from back home, are these all sorts of things that you hold very near and dear to you?
Yeah, so I mean that's something that will probably stick with me throughout my life, and those values, family, just closeness, and just very people oriented. I
Mm-hmm.
love being around people. I love working with people. I love making people smile, making people happy. So those values for sure will stick around with me, I believe.
Is English your second language?
Yeah, so
Okay.
growing up in Zimbabwe, I speak Shona as well too. So I speak and I can still write it as well. So, but within the school system there, because we were a British colony, so
Oh,
basically
okay.
from grade one, you are learning English as you go through. So by the time I got to Canada, I was very fluent in English. So it was an easy transition in terms of speaking and like comprehending things. It was just the lifestyle that was going to be a little bit different in the culture. So.
What does the sorry, I gotta ask, what does the Shona language sound like? And
What does it sound
I'm
like?
gonna ask you a question in English,
Okay.
and I'm hoping that you can answer in Shona.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about soccer and why you enjoy it in your mother tongue.
Ndinofarira kutamba bhora nekuti kubva ndiri mwana mucheche, shamwari dzangu, vana baba vese nana sekuru vese vaitamba bhora. Saka uchikura uri mwana mudiki waingoona bhora ichitambwa, and kuvhura musiwo ndakabva ndatanga kufarira kutamba bhora kusvika nanhasi. And vanhu vese vandaimirira ndichiteeredzana navo, vanapita ndlovu vese vaitamba bhora, saka ndopa ndingatanga kurifarirawo kusvikira nhasi. No.
That's a beautiful language. I love it. I love it. That's great. So now what factors led to your family coming to Canada then? How did that happen?
So my dad came to Canada first. He came back in 2001, I believe. I hope I got the dates correct, Dad. Back in 2001, he came across. Myself, my mom, and my two siblings stayed back in Zimbabwe. And then later on, we came across in 2005. My dad came back to visit about, I think it was 3 times throughout that time frame between 2001 and 2005 before we came across. So yeah, he came here and he was living in Montreal. And then when we moved to Medicine Hat because it was the sunniest city in Canada. He kind of searched up the sunniest place in Canada or what.
Was it a career decision, or had your family made up your mind to escape some kind of political thing?
No,
What was that?
it was a matter of, at the end of the day, my dad did it and my parents did it basically for us, our future. I mean, we were doing quite well back home. But in terms of the education side of things, it was a matter of getting a better education and better life for us long-term wise.
Hmm.
At the time, there was nothing to really escape, but I think they were just kind of looking at it long-term wise. It's very different now to what it is when we kind of moved here. So, yeah.
So, Allan, we've heard a lot in the news over the past number of weeks, and even longer, of course, about issues of racial tension. How have you been treated in Canada since you've come here, and what can we all do to move things like inclusion and acceptance forward? But let's start with how you've been treated.
Um, Very mixed emotions, I guess. And I think one thing I will say is that for just to keep an open mind with every person you do meet. Don't judge a book by, one rotten apple doesn't mean they're all rotten. But yeah, I've had some mistreatments that I've had, whether it's been me walking down the street in Medicine Hat and just kind of having somebody, saying slur words towards me without kind of chatting with them, or whether it be on the soccer field trying to get under my skin or just going to unnerve me in any way. So yeah, I have, witnessed it and I've been part of it for sure. And it is one of those things that is quite sad. But at the end of the day, the best thing for me is just to kind of keep an open book with people and just hope that they're not like the other people that I've kind of come across. So yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. Now, I've never met you officially before. I think we've kind of crossed paths in many ways. And
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be the type of person that really leans on your faith. Is that a big part of who you are, and just kind of your overall being is just kind of your faith and believing in a higher power and so on? Is that you?
Yeah, that is probably to the T, me for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a Christian home for sure, and till this day, I still wake up on Sundays and go to church. And it was probably one of the toughest things when I was playing, because a lot of those Sundays we had games, and I couldn't make it to church on Sundays for sure.
Yeah.
So it is one of those things that I am a Christian boy for sure, and I live by that. So
All right. Let's go back to the Rattler soccer days. Coach Jim Laughlin
yeah.
called you the hardest working player that he has ever met. Now, he's a pretty hardworking guy as well. What does that mean, hearing a compliment like that from a guy like Jim Laughlin?
It means a lot coming from Jim for sure, because I mean I've seen Jim. I've known him for quite a while. When I moved to Medicine Hat here back in 2005, he was just kind of getting here and started coaching within the community for sure. So I looked up to the guy, and I've always wanted to play for the Rattlers as I was growing up. So hearing that from him, and also having noticed and witnessed some of the players that came before me and how amazing they were and how I look up to them, to hear him say that about me was just, you know, at the time it was mind blowing, but
Hmm.
it kind of kept me going and always trying to outwork that person beside me. I want to be the best version I can be, and I turn just about anything into a competition. So yeah, I always want to push people's buttons and really trying to get them the best out of them as well too. So
That's great. Now, you are if I'm not mistaken, I think I remember reading the stats quite a while ago, 5'5".
Yeah.
So you're probably used to being the shortest guy on the field. Did you view that as a hurdle that you had to overcome, or did you actually see that right from the beginning as an advantage?
Um, I never really seen it as a hurdle, especially when it comes to soccer. When if it comes to grabbing something off the top shelf in the kitchen, perhaps. But in terms of soccer, it never came across as something that I seen as like a big hurdle. I knew I was shorter, and what I had to do was just develop other areas of my game, such as my speed and my strength. Although I might be smaller, but it's going to be a tough goal for you to knock me down. And my speed really kind of showed in that way to kind of make up for some of those challenges. But yeah, when you're playing against guys that are 6'6" and going up for a header, might not be the best option for me. So I got to keep my game on the ground and not in the air as much. So
Well, you talk about developing those skills. I would encourage anybody to go to Allan's Instagram account and check out the Instagram Stories archive, because he's got this video of you. I don't even know what you call it in soccer, but in hockey they call it dangling, right? Like dangling your stick, handling the puck.
yeah,
You get the ball, you cradle it on your foot, and then you flip it onto your back, and then like it's just like some of the things that you can do with that soccer ball. I can't even fathom how much practice it takes to master some of those things, right? You must have had that soccer ball since you were like 2 years old. Some of these moves just take a lifetime to perfect.
they do. And I mean, it's one of those things whereby till this day, I'm still trying to learn new tricks. And I mean, there is a lot of players now that are spending twice as much time as I ever did as a player, juggling a soccer ball and working on my trade. So I am still learning as well too, and I'm trying to keep up with a lot of the players that I'm coaching at the same time. And I see them all at the field, and they show me a new trick, and I'm like, I can't do that yet. So I kind of keep going. So it's just a continuous thing. But yeah, I started playing at a really young age and just trying
Yep.
to master those skills.
What is okay? So what is one of these tricks that you're like, I can't even do that. I don't even know how they do that. How would you describe just one of those tricks?
So one of the ones that I don't even know what to call it, what it's called, but we've got one of the players. It's basically when it comes to like combination plays.
Yeah.
So the one that I do get every now and then is one whereby it's called Maradona 7. Basically you go for you kick the ball with your foot, and then you go with your thigh, and then it comes up to your shoulder, your head, and then to the other side, shoulder, knee, and then foot again. So you
Oh,
kind of do a complete cycle one way and then come back the other side. I think I've gotten it twice now, but it's not every time. It might take me 15 tries to get it once.
yep.
But yeah,
Yep. What is the highest level of soccer, like professional soccer, you've had a chance to be at, experience the stadium and the vibe and the atmosphere? I mean, here a lot of us, we only, maybe go to a high level hockey game, and if we're
yeah.
lucky, maybe a football game or whatever. Have you had a chance to tour the world and see any really high level of soccer in person?
That's one of the I've seen one in Zimbabwe, but outside of being back home, with the Premier League back home in Zimbabwe, I got a chance when I went back in 2011 before I actually started with the Rattlers. I got a chance to go back and kind of train with some of the teams back there, and that was awesome. I got to see a game. The atmosphere was phenomenal. It was very noisy. If you're going through a soccer game to talk to somebody, you're at the wrong place. I mean, there's loud music beside you. People are banging drums. There was whistle everywhere, and I mean, it was an awesome atmosphere. But I haven't had a chance to kind of go and explore in other areas or other continents yet, which I hope to do in the near future.
Ah, that's so awesome. That'd be great. That'd be great to experience. So what is the perfect day off for you? I mean, I know you're a busy guy. You have a lot on your plate with the Medicinet Soccer Association and so on. But when you have a day when you literally have nothing planned, where might you go? What might you do? What is the perfect day for Alan Siwella?
When I think about when I am in those busy moments, I mean, a perfect day for me is just that, a day off, just to kind of stay at home, relax, catch up on mowing the grass, or just that cleaning that I haven't got a chance to do yet. But it just kind of, for me, it's just being inside the house, playing some music, just dancing a little bit. I love listening to music. So it's probably just a day where I'm at home, relaxing, listening to some music, and maybe just invite a few friends over to hang out.
You're a homebody.
Yeah,
Fire up the barbecue.
that's basically it. Yeah, sometimes there's a lot of smoke coming from it, but I'm learning.
Are you a cook?
Yeah, I am a cook. So
Good for you.
I sure am. If I don't cook, I would starve because I'm by myself. So
That's right. Now,
yeah.
now, when you cook, is there a little bit of that Zimbabwe influence? Do you kind of like, I don't know what the food back home might be? Is it spicy? Is it how would you describe your cooking style?
I do like spicy food for sure.
Yeah.
And if I had to say anything, a lot of my friends, when they come over, I usually have hot sauce anywhere nearby for my food or any spices. So I do love hot foods, and a lot of my friends don't enjoy it at all. Salt for them might be a little too spicy, but yeah, very spicy food.
That's great. Allan Siwella joining us, Medicine at College Rattlers, 2 seasons or 3 seasons, and then
Yeah.
left, and then came back again for one final year. We always like to do a show and tell segment,
Okay.
so we ask you to go around your house, find something that has deep sentimental meaning to you, and maybe even a great story attached. So
Okay.
go ahead. Let's see what you got.
I prepared for this early on, so I don't have to run around anywhere. I knew you were going to ask this question. So I have with me this ball, and I'm sure you've seen it in a lot of areas where players are given a soccer ball that they have, and with that soccer ball, they'll kind of have their teammates write their name on it. But this one here is a little bit different. So this one here is one that I was given to me by a group of girls that I was coaching this past indoor season. So we got a chance to go to the Alberta Winter Games for futsal, which was the first time ever, and we got a bronze medal game at it. And the team was composed of Medicine Hat and Coaldale as well too. So it was a unique group, and we only had about 4 sessions to really prepare for it. And the girls came together really, really nicely. And at the end of it, they got me this nice ball, so they all wrote their names on them and their numbers on them. I haven't had one as a player yet, so having one as a coach, it really does kind of hit two birds in one stone for me because it reminds me that my passion for coaching and just for the love of the game as well too. So this is probably the most sentimental thing that I've had recently that I can show you guys today. So
Awesome. That's great. That's great. Okay, so now let's get to what you're doing now. You're with Medicine and Minor Soccer Association. Robert Cavecchia, who we had on the broadcast a couple of weeks ago. I know you work fairly close with him, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Talk a little bit about your current role and what you're doing these days.
So I work with the Soccer Association as well as the Medicine Art College as well too as an advisor for some of the health programs. But with Soccer Association, I'm working closely with Rob Kavika for sure, who's executive director with the association, and I am the coordinator of player and coach development. So I oversee the technical programming of the association from dealing with the youngins from the U4, working with the mini director all the way up to the U17, as well as the club system as well. So I am overseeing quite a few players and coaches and just kind of helping them continue the growth and development of soccer within Medicine Hat, and with the hope of getting a lot of these players noticed where they can be playing in college level sports or hopefully professional. I mean, we've seen it with a young man by the name of Alfonso Davies from a small little town in Edmonton there. So hopefully one day we'll have one coming in from Medicine Hat that will make it pretty big.
Sounds good. What qualities do you look for in a coach? Because I mean, quite frankly, a lot of the coaches here probably have not grown up in the soccer environment, and so in many ways, all this is probably fairly new to them. However, I'm sure you look for certain qualities that lead you to think, okay, there is a lot of potential in this man or woman.
Yeah, I think for me, what it comes down to is, sometimes some of the coaches we have played the sports, so they have that natural love of the game, which is great to have because they want to continue that. And then there are other coaches that haven't played really competitively. So in those coaches, I'm looking for just, are you willing to learn, and are you willing to, and also, I guess one of the coaches that I've worked with, his name is John Clubb. He talks about how you're investing in yourself as well. So
Hmm.
really being able to open up and really kind of take in some feedback from other people because as coaches we have our own philosophies, but when you take in from other people it really helps you become a better coach. So I think being open-minded and willing to learn is probably the biggest thing that we look for in coaches.
It would seem to me that with kids being out of school now for 3 going on 4 months, they've been stuck at home a lot. They're itching to
Yeah.
get out and have a lot of fun. I would imagine that you could be looking at record enrollment for soccer in Medicine Hat this year. Is that safe to say? Is that kind of what you're expecting as well?
Yeah, and I'm hoping so, but you never know because it's also at that time as well too now because we usually run our season throughout that May June. And a lot of the families do kind of go travel, go camping, and but I've got my fingers crossed. I'm hoping for record-breaking registrations this year to have a lot of players, whether they've played soccer before or you haven't had a chance to play, or you played 5 years ago and you want to pick it up again. I'm hoping to get a lot of players, but with this is the first time we've had a pandemic of this nature that I've been alive for. So it's quite unknown. But I'm got my fingers crossed, hoping that we get record breaking and we can get a lot of
Yeah.
kids out playing and enjoying the game.
So how are we preparing for the upcoming season then? I mean, there's in addition, obviously, just to enrollment and coaches and players and so on. But now you've got this health regulations thing. What kind of challenges is
Yeah,
that posing to the organization?
it does pose some challenges for sure. But I mean, we over the last 3 weeks, Rob and I have been, in contact along with the board members and some of the technical directors, in contact with how can we roll back when we do get the go ahead to kind of come back and play again. And we have some measures that we're going to be taking place. We're going to be utilizing a lot of our college athletes to kind of help us with some check-ins for registration when parents gets there. We're going to be doing a parent meeting coming up this week as well too. So we're doing as much as we can to prep everybody, but there are some protocols that we have to follow and that our parents and players have to follow as well. But we have going to be preparing with a lot of help on hand, especially for the games. It used to be just the players and their coaches, but now we do need extra staff on hand to help with the check-in process and making sure that everybody's safe and that they're practicing the regulations that are being set out for us.
But is it safe to say that your excitement level for the upcoming season is sky high? Is that true?
It's sky high because I
Yeah.
know our indoor season was cut short. We didn't get a chance to go to provincials, and a lot of the players and coaches were kind of disheartened when that happened. So it was cut short to start off, and then not being able to start this in the springtime like we usually do. I know for me, I've been itching to get back on the field. I've been hosting some online sessions for our community and competitive over the last 2 months, and it's been great to get out there and kind of see everybody via Zoom. But I just can't wait to see everybody in person and actually get a chance to interact with them and for them to actually play with more than just one person at a screen.
Well, I can tell you from someone that, has been working from home and I've spent far too much time at home over the past few months. I cannot wait just to drive past, a local soccer pitch and seeing lots of cars, lots of people, lots of kids running around chasing the ball. Some of the kids chasing butterflies or stomping on ants or whatever they do. You know, I am looking forward to that as well. And thank you for all you do for our local soccer community and the sporting community in general. I know there's a lot of people that really appreciate it. So, final question for you, Allan. The same question we ended with everybody. Um, what what did Medicine at College do for you as a person who is just kind of maturing into the man you are today? What role did Medicine at College play in who you are today?
I think for me, probably the best thing, I think for me, I would say this over and over again. People go, well, you just saying that because maybe you work there, but I think it was a good match. Medicine at College is very people oriented, for sure, and it's a very close community. So for me, working, playing there, it really kind of reinforced that family orientation that I really kind of grew up with and the culture that I really, really loved, and having that closeness with the players and the coaches there as well too. So I think for me, what I got out of it was just, just becoming a good citizen and helping when you can, whether that's giving back as a coach or giving back and just, an hour with the player that's kind of struggling. So just really helping grow the community as a whole is something that I really learned in my adult years as I was at the Medicine at College, from seeing that from other players that were coaching prior to me, with them helping out, and also the coaching staff as well. So
Awesome. Awesome. Allan, it's been so good to talk to you. Again, all the best. Have a great summer. Thank you for all you do for youth in our community. And you know what? Everything you said about inclusion and acceptance and all that, I hope that strikes home for a lot of people here in Medicine Hat. We heard what you said about there have been times where you've walked down the street in Medicine Hat and you've heard a comment that you certainly didn't appreciate.
Yeah.
Um, thank you for bringing that to our attention. I don't think I've ever heard that, and so it's up to all of us to keep our ears open, to keep our eyes open, and find ways that we can learn more from your experiences. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, and it's been a pleasure. And you as well too. Have a great rest of your summer, and hopefully you'll be back out again and being able to see all the kids running around on the soccer field.
All right, stay safe.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Take care. All right, there he goes, Allan Siwella, right there. What a great guest, and we thank him for hanging out with us and just chatting a little bit and sharing everything that he's doing for the soccer community locally and some of his memories as a Medicine Hat College Rattler. All right, we got one more guest coming up tomorrow. It'll be men's basketball. Keep an eye on the Rattlers Facebook page as we make the announcement tomorrow as to who that's going to be. But guys, thank you so much for watching every one of these. It's great. I see we've got a few dozen people watching right now, or at least throughout the past half hour or so. So it's awesome. And if you want to be on a broadcast, we would love to have you. Just reach out to Patrick. We'll schedule you in. We'll tell some stories. We'll have a good time. All right. Anyways, on behalf of Allan Siwella, have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.